Okay, I thought I'd come on and talk about ascension and what you can expect in the future as to what physical changes you will notice within your physical body in the future with ascension. Um, just before I started on this path of ascension, I was informed of when it would happen and a few things that would take place. And I said, okay, not necessarily physically, but some of the changes that I would notice energetically. So I'm just going to touch base on those before we get to the physical changes. Some of the things that I noticed and that I was informed would take place are my chakras opening and expanding. So I noticed a lot of pressure and opening and energy pooling in through my heart chakra, my crown chakra, and my solar chakra right near my belly button. And these are the three areas that I really noticed energy pooling forth through my vessel. And some of the other things I would notice, changes in my sleep, heart palpitations. As the energy comes in through these chakra centers, it can really pick up speed. And over time, as you're ready for the next level and the next level, and more energy coming in and more energy coming in, you'll just notice that you will have ascension symptoms that will affect you, your mood. It'll affect your sleep. It'll affect your relationships with people, because as you raise in vibrational frequency, there may be individuals in your life that aren't ready to go along on this path with you, and they may just be who they are, but you're just not resonating with them as much. And the communication between you and some individuals in your lives may be different. And the connection, the communication may change over time. Energetically, sometimes I'd have to lay down on the couch as I was having a lot of energy pool through my body and opening and expanding all of my chakras. And I would have communication just letting me know that all of my chakra centers were going to be opening, expanding, and please just relax. And I just would hang back and relax for about 20 minutes as this energy was pooling through my body. At that point, when that was happening, there were several other individuals that were noticing this happening on the same day. So I found that kind of interesting. I thought, okay, so there's several of us that are noticing this expansion, if you want to call it that. So I'm gonna relay some of what I've heard the angels say as we move forward with ascension. And some of the things they were relaying during readings were we will raise in vibrational frequency and others will notice. So you may have animals or children staring at you when you're just not noticing that before, but now others who are more sensitive to energy will really notice you, maybe at the grocery store or wherever you are. So that may be something that you notice. Some of the things they were saying is, if you're walking down the street or wherever you're going, others may notice you more. They may pay attention to your energy. Your energy entering a room or walking down the street will be noticed more. Some of the other things that were relayed to me are as we pull in more of this high vibrational frequency through our vessels, we'll be noticing, changes in our bodies. So we'll notice our bodies will heal faster. We'll notice our bodies picking up speed and having changes happen where maybe it was a slower progression before. So some of the things that they relate is like healing faster and things being just taken care of by the light in our physical vessels, much easier, quicker. And I'm like, sounds great. I'm like, in the very beginning of Ascension, I'm like, Ascension, they said it would be great. They said, I used to say that all the time to my angels. I was like, you guys said that. But for reals, Ascension has some things that take place that, EFT tapping works wonderfully to get you through. Grounding outdoors in nature is an absolute must. And if you're already sensitive to energy or empathic, and now you're going to go through Ascension, you might as well set up your tent right under the tree out in the yard and ground all the time, because we really do need daily grounding. I'm joking about the tent, but I'm serious about the grounding. The grounding is an absolute must. So if we're not getting outside and grounding, guess what happens? We are ungrounded, which means our minds, our thoughts are very fragmented all over the place. Maybe we're reaching for things and eating things that maybe aren't necessarily good for us. And then if you coupled sugar and caffeine on top of that, well, then you're going to be super, super, super ungrounded. So just keep that in mind moving forward, that as we move along on this path, it's really important to ground ourselves. So what are some of the other things that are going to be taking place with our vessels physically is what I'm going to channel from my angels right now. Changes in relationships, friendships, family connections. They want to talk about what I have already been through. In the beginning, I found it very upsetting, and there was a lot of upheaval with the changes within the family dynamic in my family. But over time, I've come to see a broader perspective, and I can see how it's nothing to be taken personally or held personally against anyone else. It's just a matter of a vibrational match. Okay, so if you're not vibrationally a match for somebody else, it's hard to connect and communicate. It's hard to even be around each other's energy. I'm sure some of you recognize what it's like when you go through life and you're really a positive person and you just annoy other people just by being you, right? So picture you raising in frequency even more, and other people just will not be ready to shift in frequency, and then you're just no longer a match. Okay. They're just sending us blessings, many blessings. They'll be here for us and with us during these times of transition. Not all difficult transitions are bad for us. That simply means that they are difficult in the moment. And with growth and expansion, often it entails difficult transitions. But once you make it through to the other side, you see a broader perspective as to why that needed to take place. Move in the direction towards those who make you feel good, those who make you feel more uplifted, those who are light-filled. And many light workers are going to be guided towards one another, primarily online, and then making arrangements, possibly, our free will, of course, to meet up in person and connect with each other in person. Spiritual retreats are wonderful for this. But just even connecting one-on-one for a time is also really wonderful. It is really about us moving in the direction of being more of a vibrational match with others. So that's what's going to be taking place on Earth. They want us to know that we are worthy and we are valued. Okay? So even if we feel like there may be those in our lives that don't understand us or value us, they want us to know that we are valued, we are loved, we are accepted for who we are fully by the light. So some of the things that are going to take place as this light envelops us and shifts our frequency is the heavier, denser vibrational frequency. You know, when we stuff stuff down, then is going to go somewhere. So if we don't get it out and we don't speak up for ourselves and or are suppressed or controlled, or then we could go down that path, but we're not going to. And we look at even other lifetimes maybe we've had where it was a very difficult transition. All of that is starting to get transmuted into the light. So as the light pools within us, it's transmuting the heaviness and the density. And as it does that, it then fills in that space and helps us to heal physically, emotionally. Okay, anything else on that? Energetically, we will begin to shift. Here's another thing that will be taking place as we anchor more and more light in the future, okay? We'll have very, and now we're not talking about color here. We're talking about very light-filled eyes. They'll be illuminated, okay? And they're using the example of when you see, they're using the wording a youngster, so a younger child, and they're so bright and so filled with light and love, and they're curious and looking around, and their eyes are so illuminated like this, okay? The light will permeate out of you, impacting and affecting those around you. It's like a domino effect. People may look at you and say, what's going on with you? Or you won't be a vibrational match any longer, and they're just going to gradually shift out of your life. But always remember that you will have individuals who are a vibrational match for where you are in your life, and they will be guided into your life. And they're saying in droves. How exciting. We're talking about, we look at family as like a blood connection, DNA connection, but how this is going to be for many light workers and many individuals on the planet is a vibrational connection, an energetic connection. And that will be the new family nucleus created. Isn't that cool? Okay. Many things are going to change physically. Overall, a feeling of well-being, being at peace, being love-filled, light-filled. They're saying, is this how you will be all the time? No. Okay. It's a gradual process as you transition. There will be moments where you will dip in frequency. Those around you may affect your frequency depending on who you're around and what they're saying to you, or we all know that path, don't we? So you may dip or drop in frequency, but overall you will have less dips, is what they're saying. less moments of dropping, or if you do sink in frequency, you won't sink as low. You'll just see things with more clarity. You'll see them for what they are, and you will gradually tolerate less. You'll move in a different direction. You'll shine very much more brightly, more and more so over time. Okay, and they will also want to talk about us reaching for more high vibrational foods. As far as substances are concerned, we may not feel as though we are as interested in certain substances like we were before, or we may get symptoms of nausea or feeling irritated if we do try a substance. Yeah. So briefly, they want me to talk about that. So that's how I was feeling. I would go towards the alcohol and I'd feel nauseous. The other thing I noticed is like I wasn't getting as high or drunk as I once was. It was just like, I just, it wasn't happening. The other thing that was happening is a disconnect of my energy from my body. So I felt very uncomfortable, like my soul didn't want to be housed in my vessel while I was intoxicated, because the substance was dropping my frequency. And so my soul just chose to more or less hang outside my body, and that felt, my energy just wasn't in my body, and it felt very uncomfortable. Okay. So the last few words here, because they're dusting off their hands, which tells me this is some of the things that are going to take place physically for us. And the last few words here are, please continue shining your lights brightly for all to see, dear ones. This is what you came here to do. Do not allow others to sink your frequency for a lengthy period of time. Do not allow your energy to drop low for a lengthy period of time. Gradually and consistently, you will shift out of the depths and move towards the light more and more so over time. Will we be able to consistently hold our frequency into higher dimensional frequencies or realms, whichever you want to say? And that's individually up to each of us. In this lifetime, we might be able to make it for a couple of hours. Maybe we'll make it for a half day, or maybe we'll make it for a full day. But consistently shifting into the 4D or the 5D for years to come, it's not likely. The energy here on Earth is shifting. It's going. But it may take some time for us to follow, is what they're saying, okay? Our frequency and where it is dependent upon what we are placing our focus and our attention upon, what we're watching on the TV, what we're reading, what we're listening to, what type of gossip or drama we're listening to with friends, the thoughts in which we house in our own minds. All of this plays a role on our own frequency. Reach for the light. Reach for more higher vibrational thought forms, friendships, relationships, connections, broadcasts, reading material. Thank you, dear ones.